Have you ever seen a vegetable that looks like it just crash landed from another planet? Well, today we're going to dig into the secret history of kohlrabi, a vegetable with a backstory that's way more modern and man-made than you'd think. All right, so let's start with a little riddle. What looks like a tiny green spaceship, grows super happily in your garden, and has a history that's much, much younger than you'd expect? It's a seriously delicious enigma. Any guesses? If you guessed kohlrabi, you are absolutely right. And that leads us right into our first section, a Sputnik in the garden. Let's get a closer look at what makes this vegetable so out of this world. Okay, so here's the really fascinating part. Kohlrabi isn't some ancient plant that's been growing in the wild for thousands of years. Nope, it's basically a human invention. It's part of that big famous cabbage family, with broccoli and kale and all their cousins. But this specific swollen stem version was intentionally bred by people. It just goes to show you, for centuries, we haven't just been farmers, we've been designers, actively shaping our food to create something completely new. In the grand timeline of agriculture, that makes kohlrabi a pretty modern vegetable. And you can totally see why it gets all those sci-fi comparisons. That Sputnik-like shape is just so unique, right? With the leaves kind of shooting out like little antennae. Plus, it comes in these beautiful light green and really vibrant purple varieties, which makes it one of those rare vegetables that actually looks super cool in the garden. So how exactly did this modern vegetable even come to exist? Well, that takes us to our next section, a modern vegetable's history. We're about to peel back the layers on its surprisingly recent 500-year-old origin story. Check this out. The year is 1554, and this is the very first time we see kohlrabi pop up in writing. And the key word here is recently. I mean, can you imagine that? In the middle of the 16th century, this was the hot new vegetable trend over in Italy. This tells us its story doesn't start in ancient Rome or Greece. It starts right in the European Renaissance. And from that very first mention, it spread like wildfire. Well, for the time anyway. This timeline really shows the journey. Just a few decades after it showed up in Italy, people were already growing it all across Northern Europe. We're talking Germany, England, Spain. Then, by about 1800, it makes the big trip across the Atlantic to North America. The big takeaway here, in just a couple hundred years, this brand new, human-designed vegetable went from being a cool European novelty to a staple in gardens around the world. So that's the past, but where has this European upstart put down roots today? That brings us to kohlrabi's world tour. Let's see how far this vegetable has really traveled. So where is it now? Pretty much everywhere that cool weather crops can grow. It's still a huge favorite in Germany and all through Central and Eastern Europe. But what's really amazing is how it's found a home so far beyond Europe. It's all over North America, and it's become a key ingredient in the cuisines of places like India, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. That's a true testament to how adaptable it is. Okay, so we've traced its history and its geography, but what makes kohlrabi so special for someone who just wants to grow it today? Well, that brings us to the gardener's secret weapon. Let's break down why this unique vegetable is such a favorite for homegrowers. The first big reason, pure speed. Just look at this number. 50 to 60 days, that's it. Think about that. In less than 2 months, you can go from putting a seed in the ground to having something to eat. For a home gardener, that is a total game changer. It means you can easily get a crop in the spring and then plant another one for the fall, really making the most of your garden space. Now here's where kohlrabi really shines, especially compared to its cousins. If you've ever tried to grow cabbage or broccoli, you know the battle against pests like cabbage worms is real. They just love hiding in all those dense leaves. Kohlrabi, though, it gives you an advantage. Its foliage is so much more open, which gives those pests fewer places to hide. That just makes it a more reliable and, honestly, a less frustrating crop to grow. And the advantages just keep on coming. The plants themselves are nice and compact, which is perfect for raised beds, or even if you're just growing in containers on a balcony. They're also cold tolerant, so they absolutely love the cooler weather in spring and fall. And, like we said, they're just plain fun to look at. But here might be its best feature. It's a dual-purpose crop. So you get that crisp, sweet, swollen stem that has this mild flavor somewhere between a cabbage and a turnip, but don't throw away the tops. The leaves are also completely edible, and they're delicious, kind of like kale or collard greens. And the whole plant is just packed with vitamin C, fiber, and minerals. You're basically getting 2 vegetables from one plant? I mean, what's not to love? So let's just recap here. We've got a fast-growing, pest-resilient 2-for-1 crop that has this amazing 500-year-old story of human innovation.
And all of this brings us to a final thought. Is kohlrabi, a vegetable literally designed by us for us, the perfect modern vegetable? It's definitely something to chew on.